thank you for joining the October 14th PBC on Fox Media conference call. Your host, Richard Schaefer, Chairman and CEO of Ringstar Sports, will now begin.
All right, thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's media call. Really excited. We have a little over a week to go for this great doubleheader at the War Grounds at the StubHub Center here in Los Angeles. We all know, Carson to be precise, we all know that fights there always deliver. Somehow it always brings out the best in fighters, and the atmosphere and so on is just one of a kind. I can report that tickets sales are very strong. They have been very brisk, and actually some of the price categories were sold out. We are trying to put some more $30 and $50 for sale. So I anticipate a sellout at the StubHub Center on Saturday, October 14th. Huge night of World Championship boxing, 2 World Championship fights with Leo Santa Cruz and Chris Avalos and Abner Mares and Andres Gutierrez. The Premier Boxing Championship card will be on Fox, Big Fox, and on FOX Deportes live. Live coverage will be starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern and 4:30 p.m. Pacific. The door will open at 12:30. The first fight will be shortly thereafter. We're going to have a big night of fights in Carson, 12 fights in all, and going to be a very exciting undercard as well. The non-televised portion, we have among them 2 Olympians, Mexican Olympian who came home bronze medal for Mexico, Misael Rodriguez, will be fighting in his 4th fight. He's 3-0 with 2 knockouts. He's trained by Robert Garcia. And then we have Eimantas Stanionis, who is quickly developing a huge following here in Los Angeles, and he's training at the Wild Card with Freddie Roach. He will make his 4th fight as well. He's 3 wins, 3 knockouts at the welterweight division. We have more experienced guys as well, like Robert Marroquin and Ivan Redkach on the card. So a little bit of everything. We have 2 kids from Oak Hill, California, Cherry Perez and Jose Perez, early on in their career, showcasing their talent. So make sure you tell your readers or listeners to come out early and be part of a great Saturday afternoon and evening at the StubHub Center. The weather is beautiful here now in California this time of the year, so really excited to see you all there. Now, let's go. I would like to thank as well Tom Brown and Brittany. Tom Brown, the president of TGB Promotions, for this co-promotion here again, and I understand Tom is not on the call, but I'm sure we're all going to see him during fight week. Now let's move on to the first fight of the televised card. Is going to be Eddie Ramirez against Antonio DeMarco. We all know Antonio DeMarco from Tijuana as a guy who always comes to fight, one of those guys who is never in a bad fight, and he is looking to give a stern test to an undefeated fighter, Eddie Ramirez, with 17-0 and 11 knockouts in the super lightweight division. So I think that's going to be a very exciting fight, and I think it's going to really show us all where Eddie Ramirez is at this particular point in his career. We know that Antonio DeMarco will certainly come to fight. Then next up is going to be the World Championship fight between one of the most legendary and biggest names in the sport, multi-division, multi-time world champion Abner Mares and Andres Gutierrez. Andres Gutierrez joins us from Guadalajara, Mexico. He has a record of 35 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw with 25 knockouts. he was actually supposed to fight earlier this year in a title eliminator against Carl Frampton. Looked very strong, looked great, and then he had a freak accident in the shower, I understand, over there in England, and he couldn't fight. He suffered severe cuts, but he is ready to go, and he gets another bite at the apple, as they say. He was supposed to fight Frampton, one of the big names at the 126-pound weight class, and that didn't happen. And now he has a chance to go with an even bigger name, Abner Mares, here in Los Angeles. And this all-Mexican showdown, this all-Guadalajara showdown, actually, is surely going to light fireworks. So I'd like to introduce to you now Andres Gutierrez.
Andrés, ¿puedes decir unas palabras?
Yeah, right. There you go. Ray, can you translate for him, please?
Yeah, sí, puedes decir unas palabras. Andrés, si puedes decir unas palabras para los deporteros. Bueno. Sí. ¿Cómo te sientes?
¿Listo? Andrés, ¿listo para la pelea?
Ya, sí, estamos listos ya. Una buena preparación aquí en Guadalajara y listos.
¿Todo bien en la preparación?
Claro que sí, todo muy bien en la preparación. Contentos con la pelea, motivados, listos para ganar.
I am ready. I'm very focused. Excited down here in Guadalajara. Our training camp has gone very well, and I'm extremely motivated.
Okay. Good. So we're going to have Andres available for questions. Maybe since he is calling from Guadalajara, should we ask the media right now to ask questions so that we don't lose him there? If the media has any questions, maybe do that. Or what do you think?
No, we have Abner and Robert on too, so let's just
so let's move on.
Make their opening statements.
Right. Okay. Well, then it is always a pleasure, a special pleasure, frankly an honor for me to introduce one of my closest friends in the sport, an amazing champion inside of the ring and an amazing father, husband, and human being outside of the ring, a fighter I have known since actually before he went to the Olympics in 2004, where he represented the Mexican Olympian team. And he obviously came and conquered the professional world, facing some of the best 118 and 126 pound champions over the years. He is born in Guadalajara as well and fights out of Downey, California, trained by famed trainer Robert Garcia, who really, I think, Robert Garcia and Abner Mares make the perfect team. I think Abner Mares, most recently, he dropped Jesus Cuellar in a hard-fought victory last December for the WBA featherweight title. We saw the game plan Robert and Abner put together and how Abner executed against this fantastic game plan. I think they make an unbeatable team. Abner Mares is here to stay and has great fights ahead of him. But first comes first. He knows that Gutierrez is a tough customer and has only one loss. Is a good puncher as well. It's going to be fireworks, and it's a pleasure now for me to introduce to you Abner Mares.
Richard, everybody online, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really honored and happy to be fighting on this card. I'm fighting once again, and you could say my hometown, Los Angeles. I always showcase great fights here at the Home Depot Center, well, now called the StubHub Center, in Carson, California. I'm looking forward to showcasing once again alongside Robert Garcia, the new Abner. I know every fighter always says that, but I think I've proven it. I proved it against Cuellar, my last fight in December, and I will once again against Andres Gutierrez come October 14th. And Richard, close friend of mine, thank you so much. Happy to be fighting on your company, Ringstar Boxing, second time. My first fight with Cuellar, and now a second fight. So I'm looking forward to that. And everybody in my camp, Al Heyman, Robert Garcia, Luis Garcia, everybody, thank you so much. Ready for this.
Thank you very much, Abner, and hopefully many more. Robert, is Robert on as well?
Yes, I'm here.
Garcia. Okay, Robert, do you want us to maybe say a few words as well before we're going to open it up for questions?
Sure, Richard. Thank you very much, Richard, and thank you everybody, who's on the line. Like Abner said, or like Richard said, we make a really good team together with myself, my son Pita, Luis Garcia. We have everything that's working is working really good. Training has gone great. Sparring is beautiful. We have great sparring partners, young, hungry kids that want to prove themselves against Abner, and Abner is doing his work, being able to control these young killers that want to get in there and hurt them. Abner's been able to do it. So, things have gone great. We're in for a great fight. We know Gutierrez is a young kid that is hungry for this title opportunity. So we know we're going in there against a hungry young fighter that wants to become a world champion. So that's what we have to be very well prepared. And come October 14, we're going to prove what we've done in the gym.
Excellent. Thank you, Robert. Now I think we're going to open it up to the media for any questions for Gutierrez, Robert, or, of course, Abner.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star 1 on your touch-tone telephone. Again, if you have a question, please press star 1. And we're waiting for callers to join the queue. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star 1. Our first question will be coming from Keith Eidick. Please go ahead.
Yes, my question is for Andres. Could you ask him, what he thinks of this opportunity? Obviously, he can upset a lot of things here by upsetting Abner Mares, who's supposed to fight Leo Santa Cruz next year. Can you ask him about the opportunity and how he hopes to disrupt those plans?
Andrés, la gente está diciendo que Abner Mares va a pelear contra Leo Santa Cruz, pero ¿qué piensas de esta oportunidad que tienes en el 14 de octubre?
Is Gutierrez on?
Andrés.
That's what I was afraid of, that we lost him in Guadalajara. So, Brittany, are you on? Can you try him again?
Yeah. We're in communication. Keith, do you have a question for Abner while we get Gutierrez back? Okay, operator, you want to take the next question? Please. Operator.
Hi, this is the conference operator, Dan Berfield. Your line is open.
My first question is for Robert Garcia. Hello, Robert.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing very well. My question for you is when the date or when the time frame for Abner's next fight came up, it was supposed to be the rematch with Leo. I've heard from Abner previously about his, I guess I'll use the word annoyance of that not taking place in the next fight. I'm wondering from the trainer's perspective, if when you started to sort of lay the groundwork for this training camp, were you trying to put a game plan in and prepare for the rematch with Santa Cruz, and then a little surprise that things change? Or can you just take me through when you realized that it would not be the rematch next?
Look, we were training for Leo Santa Cruz, and we started training camp early, like 3-4 months ago. We were already in the gym and preparing for Leo Santa Cruz, because that's what we were expecting. But then when the news came that that we had to fight somebody else, we didn't stop. We continued training. We continued sparring the same way we were sparring. We didn't do many changes. I added a couple of kids to sparring. Still kept a couple that were already getting Abner ready for Leo, which are a little bit taller than Abner and fight similar to Leo. But I kept them because we're not looking past Gutierrez, because he's a hungry kid that's coming to become a world champion. But we I want to continue doing the work that I'm doing. So by the time, if everything goes well on the 14th, by the time we fight Leo, we get another 4, 5, 6 months, whatever it takes, of preparing for Leo, because Leo is not an easy kid to beat. So we got to start preparing to beat Leo like we were. Things happen for a reason. The fight was postponed till next year, but that just gives me 4, 5, 6 months more of training Abner to be able to beat Leo.
All right, so I was going to ask you if you look at it as in a way a positive, because like you said, you get more time to spend working with Abner, since you weren't with him when they fought the first time around. So I'm wondering, from
the way I believe
Abner,
things happen for a reason.
Okay, Abner, can you talk about that aspect of things? On the one hand, I know you were disappointed that this rematch with Leo was not going to be the fight that's taking place before the end of this year, but like Robert said, the silver lining, I guess, is you get to take on Gutierrez, hone your skills under Robert's guidance, and then continue to prepare with him. Is that a good thing, you think, more time training with him to prepare for trying to get revenge on one of your losses?
Yeah, first of all, how you doing, Dan?
Hey.
Yeah, you know what? That's the way I look at it. At first, I'm not going to lie, emotions, and I felt upset. I felt a little irritated that, I wasn't getting that fight, because at first it was promised, but at the same time, things happen for a reason, like Robert said, but it gives us that much time to get ready even more for Leo Santa Cruz fight. But again, we're not looking past Gutierrez. He's a great fighter. He's a hungry kid. I remember, I'm not that old, and people go like, "Dang, you make it sound like you're old," but I'm not. But I remember when I was at age 26 and I got my opportunity for a world title. So I could just imagine how happy he is, and looking forward to this fight. But again, I'm no pushover. I'm in my prime. I'm in my movement. I'm strong. I feel great. Robert said I've been doing really good in sparring sessions. And we look forward to just making a statement and tell not Leo but the heavyweight division out there that we are here to stay and damage.
Abner, do you feel like you're the one, even though Leo is in the main event, you're the guy that seems, at least on paper anyway, seems to me, you've got the tougher fight. You got Gutierrez, as we've said, young, strong guy, and nothing against Avalos, but he seems a little bit past his prime. He's been knocked out a bunch of times in recent fights. You're the one with the tougher fight, it seems. Can you give me your thoughts about being put in that position when you're supposed to be getting ready to fight the rematch?
Exactly. There's no way to, fool the fans or people. You can put me in the first fight, second fight, last fight. It don't matter. There's no such thing as, obviously there is a main event, but people know which one is the best fight out there. So I think people are going to go watch both of us, obviously, to see how we look. But I do feel like I got the tougher opponent. But, we are planning to make it seem like, it's just to showcase a good fight, But I'm not looking at this opponent. I'm focused on mine. And at the end of the day, I just want to perform, look great, and get ready for not just Leo, any other fight if that fight doesn't happen.
All right, very good, Abner. Thank you. I have just one question for Richard Schaefer. Richard, hello.
Hey, how are you, Dan? And by the way,
good.
Gutierrez is back on as well. So,
Richard, could you speak to your challenges in promoting a doubleheader of probably will be action fights, but it's not the rematch? So some people will perceive it as, okay, it's a good card, but it's not what they thought it would be, which is the rematch between Abner and Leo.
Well, it certainly has been a bit of a challenge because people are excited to really see these two, Abner and Leo, fight each other again. But I have to say that this fight here, and you obviously picked up on that. The Jaguar against Abner. I mean, this is a real fight. This is not a soft touch. This is not like a tune-up or so. And Abner knows that, and they know as well that the Jaguar is going to be coming to try to take what is his, what is Abner's, that world title. So this is by no stretch of the imagination anything even remotely close to a tune-up. This is a real fight, and it will be a real action because both guys are, I think, stylistically very much made for each other. So I think it will be a great fight. And I think fight fans, true fight fans, the Hispanic fight fans, the Mexicans and others, they know that this is a real fight. And that's why I think they will come and they will support Abner. And everybody has something to look forward to for the early part of next year. In March, I've been told by the fighters and their management teams that a deal structure is in place, assuming everything goes well, that they will fight each other. A target date is March of next year here in Los Angeles.
All right, very good, Richard. Thank you, and thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Our next question will be coming from Keith Eidick with Boxing Scene. Please go ahead.
Yes, can you just ask Andres about the opportunity that's in front of him to obviously pull off an upset and disrupt, and stop them from having the rematch between Leo and Abner?
Andrés, la gente está diciendo que Abner y Leo van a pelear una siguiente vez, pero tiene esa oportunidad contra Abner Mares el 14 de octubre. Andrés.
Well, he was on before, so the Jaguar must be somewhere in the jungle of Guadalajara, and they must have bad reception. I understand his phone died, and then they put him on the trainer's phone. I guess the trainer's phone died as well, so I very much apologize for that.
Yep. We're going to take the next question for Abner and keep it rolling. Sorry about that, everybody.
Our next question will be coming from Jake Donovan with ThatCulture.net. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Abner, actually, Richard answered the question I had. So, Richard, thank you for that explanation. But, Abner, I wanted to ask you, how important was it for you to get the assurance that the rematch with Santa Cruz would take place next in order to even go through with this show?
The insurance, you said? The what? Can you repeat that?
Yes. I just wanted to know, were you going to fight on this card even if there was no assurance that a Santa Cruz rematch was coming, or was it important to know that the next fight would, in fact, be a rematch?
I mean, it's nothing for sure in boxing, to be honest. That's just the honesty, But, I'm just looking forward to, again, I got Gutierrez now. That's the guy I'm fighting. That's the guy I'm focused on. So I've been saying that if it's not Leo the next fight, even though they say it is, it might be 90%. I want Frampton, and if it's not Frampton, I want Oscar Valdez. If it's not Oscar Valdez, any world champion out there. So we're not just looking at Leo now because we've been through that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good question you're asking. So my answer is, I just want any champion, but obviously the key and the fighter to fight about will be Leo. Passing Gutierrez.
Yes, actually, I can just add to that as well. I totally agree with Abner. I mean, Abner's career. Abner is one of the most legendary and biggest names in coming out of Mexico and in the sport, period. So Abner Mares is not going to be sitting around and waiting around for anybody, and I really mean anybody. The fact is the 126-pound weight class is very deep, and as a matter of fact, I talked to Frank Warren earlier this week as well, and I know that Abner would be absolutely open to do a Frampton fight because that's what he told me. So, but I mean, first things first. This is not, as I said, this is not a tune-up, and we don't want to get away. But once this fight is over and everything goes well, then I will very quickly sit down with Abner and with his team to map out, okay, can we get Leo? Yes or no? Obviously, that's what we want. And if we can't, then, we move on.
Right. Okay, thanks for that explanation, Richard. I appreciate it. Abner, I'm sorry. I just wanted to follow up on that. Richard made a good point. They said you're not going to sit around and wait for anyone. But this is only your second fight in almost 2 years. Like, how frustrating has that been for you? Because I know you're chomping at the bit to get back into the ring.
It is and it isn't. I think timing is the best thing. And being realistic, bro, to be 31 and to be learning so much right now with Robert Garcia, it's just amazing, and not too many people can say that, at this age, you still be learning, to still be doing things that you never thought, that you could have done or you have been doing, but you just never bottom out. It's just excitement to showcase them now on a fight. So going in against Gutierrez, we plan on doing that as we did with Cuellar and moving forward. So, like I said, it is and it isn't. If I get, this is what I look at it. Obviously this is my Christmas list. If I get Frampton or Leo next on that list, in any order, Leo, Frampton, Jerry Russell, Oscar Valdez, and if I can make the jump to 130, and if you're still there, Gervonta Davis, I'll find them. And that's a 4 or 5 fights that, that could totally just be my career right there. So I'm putting a number on my career because you gotta think of the future. So that's the way I see it.
All right, thank you so much for that, Abner. Best of luck.
No problem.
It's great to have you back at the ring finally.
Thank you so much.
Really quickly, we're going to try one more time. Ray, can you just check and see if Gutierrez is there? Because I believe.
Andrés, la gente está diciendo que van a tener la siguiente pelea contra Mares y Santa Cruz. ¿Qué piensas que tienes esta oportunidad el 14 de octubre?
Pues es una gran oportunidad, es la oportunidad que estaba esperando para mi carrera, en una pelea de título del mundo. Tengo más de un mes preparándome aquí en Guadalajara con el profesor Rafael Guzmán. Entonces estamos listos, ya preparados para irnos allá a Estados Unidos y contentos, la verdad, muy contentos y motivados por la oportunidad que me están dando.
I feel great. This is an unbelievable moment in my career. I'm very much, Guadalajara, very excited for this matchup. We've been working with Alfredo Guzman, and we're ready to go to the United States and, make our journey there.
Okay, next question.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star 1 on your touch-tone telephone. Again, if you have a question, please press star 1. Our next question will be coming from Robert with Sports Media. Please go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Mares, I would like to ask you, you've been in the game for some time now, and can you tell me what is the most difficult part of facing somebody like Gutierrez who has nothing to lose and everything to win?
Me as a fighter, I have to be, I've been there. I know how he feels. So work with that. I don't feel like I'm no pushover. So, it's just excitement to be fighting someone good. And at the end of the day, I'm going to go in history, known as someone that's fought nothing but great fighters. So I'm really proud to be fighting Gutierrez.
Thank you. And this is for Robert. Robert, what have you seen on Gutierrez that you have changed so that Mares would face him?
I believe Robert went back to training. If you have a question for Gutierrez, he is on the line.
Yes, I would like to ask Gutierrez.
Thank you.
Gutierrez, la gente aquí en Los Ángeles piensa que vienes como un pichón. ¿Qué les puedes decir a la afición del sur de California que te va a apoyar el sábado?
Están muy equivocados. Yo no voy como un pichón. Yo vengo como retador y les voy a dar la sorpresa. Ya lo verán. Me he preparado muy bien. Estoy listo para dar una gran pelea a Mares y traerme el cinturón. A Querétaro, ser el primer campeón del mundo queretano, ese es mi sueño y primeramente Dios lo voy a lograr.
Gracias, suerte.
The question was, what are your thoughts on, the people are saying that you're being brought in and you're a heavy underdog. What are your thoughts on that? Gutierrez's response? look, I'm coming to surprise everybody. I feel very good. It is my dream to bring home a world championship, and I'm going to go ahead and really shock the boxing fans in Los Angeles, and I am not just an opponent.
And Robert, I believe Robert Garcia is back. Do you want to ask your question?
Yep, Robert, I was just wondering, what have you seen on Gutierrez that you have to change? You were training for Cruz. Now you're fighting against Gutierrez. What have you changed on Mares' plans or training so you can face this new opponent?
Look, we just added a couple sparring partners that are same height and fight similar to Gutierrez, but the training has pretty much we continue doing the same thing and continue fighting the way I want Abner to fight. Because if it's Gutierrez or Santa Cruz or and we just continue doing the same kind of workout, the same kind of the same plan that we already have. Because I want to continue preparing Abner, because I know eventually that fight will happen, and we're not looking past Gutierrez. Gutierrez is a young lion that are getting a title opportunity. So I know those guys. Sometimes I told Abner and I told Luis Garcia, our conditioning coach, and I told everybody in camp, these kids are the most dangerous guys because they got nothing to lose and they come to try to become world champions. So we're definitely prepared for Gutierrez, with adding a few sparring partners that fight similar to him. But the training camp and the plan continues to be the same.
Thank you very much.
Okay, last question for this group, and then we'll transition to Leo and Avalos.
We do have another question from Keith Eidick with Boxing Scene. Please go ahead.
Yes, could you ask Andres how devastating it was to go through what he went through the day before the Frampton fight, where he fell in the shower and got cut and everything? How tough was that for him? How long did it take him to recover?
La dificultad para ir a Irlanda y ir en el campamento y lidiar con qué pasó, cómo te sientes, la dificultad para ir agresivo.
No, eso ya quedó atrás. Ya estoy físicamente al 100%, mentalmente al 100%. Estoy listo para Mares ahorita. Mi mentalidad está en mi pelea y la verdad mi físico está al 100% y ustedes lo van a ver el sábado.
Well, the reality is I'm 120. I'm back 100% of what happened in the whole Carl Frampton situation. That's all behind me. My focus is Abner Mares. I'm ready for Abner Mares. And you all will see on October 14th that I am 100% and extremely focused and ready.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. If we could have this group make closing statements. Ray, could you ask Gutierrez to make a closing statement?
Andres, ¿tienes unas últimas palabras para la gente?
Muchas gracias a todos. Quiero decirles que la verdad espero una guerra arriba del ring. No voy como pichón, la verdad me estoy preparando bastante fuerte y les agradezco a todos. Un saludo.
I want to say thank you to all the media and thank you all to the fight fans. The reality is I'm going to bring my best, and when I step inside the ring next Saturday, and I feel very strong, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity.
Okay, Abner, could you make a quick closing statement?
Sure. I just want to thank everybody. First of all, I want to thank Star Boxing. I want to thank Al Heyman. I want to thank my team. I want to thank you guys, the media, Fox Sports, StubHub, everybody that's making this possible. I'm looking forward to October 14th, and let the best man win.
Thank you, Andres, and thank you, Abner. We are all excited seeing you next week, and we are going to get it going next week with some activities here in and around Los Angeles to promote the fight. So I'll see you all next week. Now, let's move on to Leo Santa Cruz against Chris Avalos. With Leo, there's another one of those guys where you know he's never going to be in a bad fight. He is definitely pound for pound one of the most exciting fighters. Throws punches in bunches, and never really fights anyone. And so he's going to be coming home here to Los Angeles to the StubHub Center on October the 14th to defend his featherweight world title, which he won in a great fight earlier this year against Leo Santa Cruz. And he's facing with Chris Avalos somebody who is another exciting fighter who comes forward. He had a bite at the apple back in 2015 when he was fighting Carl Frampton in Belfast, challenging for the IBF World Super Bantamweight title. And here he comes again, trying to win to take the title away from Leo Santa Cruz. And I understand, Dan mentioned it before, he's clearly going into this fight as the underdog, but it's exactly these kind of fights where you have the overwhelming favorite, Leo Santa Cruz, maybe, taking a step less or a round less in sparring because you are such a big favorite. And even mentally, I've seen it before where fighters just prepare differently. And then with Avalos, you have this is his chance, this is his opportunity, and he's going to come in ready, and he's going to come in at the best shape and the best condition he can, and we will see who will win on Saturday night, October 14th. One thing I do know is that it will be an exciting fight because Avalos always comes to fight. It's a pleasure for me now to introduce to you, with a record of 27 wins and 5 losses with 20 knockouts, the heavy-handed fighter coming out of Lancaster, California, who most recently scored a TKO victory over Miguel Forrest on a PBC Fox Sports 1 card on July 18th. Please welcome Chris Avalos.
Hi, how's it going, everyone?
All good. Do you want to make some comments, Chris, about training, what you're looking forward to, and how ready you are?
Yeah, training's been good, and I've been ready, been in training actually since like March. So getting ready for the Flores fight, I've been in training. So even getting ready for that fight, I haven't stopped training. So I'm actually doing really good in sparring, going 10, 12 rounds in sparring, and jogging every day and every weekend. So training's going pretty good.
Great. We'll open it afterwards for questions to the media. But first, so please stay on, Chris. First, I'd like to introduce to you now one of my absolute favorite fighters, a very good friend as well, who I had a pleasure to work with for many of his fights. He is, just like I mentioned about Abner, he's a tremendous champion inside of the ring, a great human being, great son and father and husband, family man all around, truly one of the guys of the sport. But as I said, maybe one of the most exciting guys in the ring as well. Never in a boring fight. He held world titles in 3 different weight classes, 118, 122, and 126 pounds. And he is one of the stars, one of the big names in the sport. Please welcome my friend Leo Santa Cruz.
Hey, Richard, how you doing? Thank you for the nice words and for the introduction. And thank you to all the media, to all the fans. And I'm just excited. I'm very happy to be back in the ring. I was anxious already to go back in the ring. It's been a long layoff since January, so it's been a while I've been wanting to go in the ring. So I've been training hard, sparring, and I've been doing everything 100%, learning new things and everything for him with my dad. So, I'm just ready to step in the ring and give a great fans for other fans, like I always try to do. I always go out there thinking about the fans, and that's what I'm expecting to do this fight. Chris Avalos is a tough fighter, great power, so I know we're going to give a great fight, that we're both going to go out there and, try to destroy ourselves, go toe-to-toe and make it a war out there.
Great, excellent. Thank you, Leo. So now what we're going to do is we're going to open it up to the media for questions.
Okay.
If you would like to ask a question at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to ask a question at this time, please press star 1. And I'm waiting for the callers to join the queue. Dan Raphael with ESPN, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you very much. My first question is for Chris. Hey, Chris, how are you today?
How's it going, man?
Everything is good. My question for you is, Chris, listen, it's been a little bit of a tough road for you the last couple of years with some losses by knockout and some world title fights against, good opponents. So I know you're coming off a nice victory against Flores from the summertime, but I was wondering, how surprised were you that you, after that tough run, that you were tapped to get this shot at a world title against the featherweight that many people consider the number one guy in the weight class?
Yeah, it was a big surprise, and like I said, I've been in training, so even though it was a surprise, I honestly thought I was going to get a world title shot like later on, maybe next year, like middle of next year, maybe I was thinking, but now that it's here now, I'm ready. So yeah.
So Leo has a fight already set up against Abner Mares. If Abner and he both win their fights on this card, I'm wondering from your perspective what it would mean to sort of derail the best laid plans.
Yeah, my perspective, I mean, it'd be a blessing. And like I said, I've been in training and, I've been working hard, staying focused, the gym and my jogging. And, if I'm not in the gym, I'm with my family. So it's been a really good camp for me. So, yeah, I'm really planning to pull an upset that night.
Is this sort of, for lack of a better phrase, this do or die for Chris Avalos' career?
Is this what?
Is this like a do or die for you to be at the top level of boxing?
Exactly. Yeah, most likely it is. Yeah, and that's how I feel about it. That's exactly how I feel about it.
All right. Thank you for that, Chris. I had a question. Hey, Leo, are you there, Leo?
Yeah, I'm right here.
My question for you is this: as we discussed with Abner, when this sort of date came up, it was most people thought, or it was supposed to be anyway, you guys having your rematch of your outstanding fight from 2015. I was wondering, from your point of view, why is that not happening in this fight, as opposed to, as Richard Schaefer mentioned, probably in March if you guys are both successful on October the 14th?
Yeah, I think both came from long layoffs. He fought in December, I fought in January, and I think we both decided to get a before fight. I never look under any opponent. Every opponent is dangerous to me. And like they say, the opponents that you think are going to be the effective are the most dangerous because they come hungry. They come with that for the opportunity. But I guess I think it was a matter of time, and they wanted to set the right time, and I think that's why it got changed. Because I think it was maybe too soon. We had the the Mayweather McGregor fight, the Canelo and Triple G fight. So they were, all the media and everything was focusing on those fights. So, it was going to be hard to focus on this fight right now. So, I think that's what made change all the difference and everything. But, I was ready for any opponent, because I would be ready for any opponent the best. Like if I'm going to fight the champion and if I'm looking this fight, I'm training the best and I'm going to go out there and be very smart and patient and do what I have to do.
Abner says that he was ready, willing, and able to do the fight with you in the rematch. He's actually been off longer than you. He says that it was actually your team that said, forget about the rematch right away, as far as this fight, and said it was really the decision that your father made. Can you address that, please?
Yeah, I think it was kind of, my father's decision because, Me, I was getting ready to, because they told me I was gonna fight maybe Mares, so I was getting ready for Mares. I was in camp, and then they came and I think they asked my dad for his opinion or something like that, and I think my dad that's what gave him the I've been long layoff, and he wanted me to first get another fight before going in there with Mares, so that's why I think that's what happened. But yeah, I think it was kind of my dad. He said that it was for me to go, and I just didn't. So I said, all right, if that's what you want, well, let's go for it.
All right, so there was no, it wasn't like.
You broke up, Dan. Can you repeat your question? Hello, Dan? Dan? Did we lose Dan Rayfield?
Yeah, he's not in the queue. Ma'am, can you get Dan back?
Yes, I'm sure. Hold on one second. Dan, can you please press *1 again? Dan, go ahead and talk.
Hey, Dan, are you back?
I'm here.
Yeah, we didn't hear your last question. You dropped off.
Oh, okay. My question was, I was asking Leo when he and his dad were talking about that. I wondered if when his father said, "Yeah, maybe we should have another fight," did he put up any kind of argument, say, "You know what, Dad, I'd like to fight the rematch," or he just decided, "Listen, Leo, you said I'll just listen to whatever you have to say, Dad, and we'll do it your way." How did that go down? Is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, no, I told my dad, I said I'm ready. I could fight Mares right now. And my dad said, yeah, I know you could and everything, but I think we don't know how your body's gonna react since this is the longest layoff you have had. We don't know how your body's gonna look or feel, so I don't want to risk it. So he said, and I said, okay, I'll listen to you and we'll go with that. So
okay, but if everything works out for you guys on October 14th, Leo, are you committed to fighting him in the early part of next year, as Richard said, approximately March?
Yeah, of course. That's what when they told me that, I told him, okay, yeah, but I want to get this fight, and if hopefully God, I win, we get the win, and Mares get the win, I want to face him right away. And they say, yeah, so they're going to do everything possible to make it as soon as possible. And I think that's going to be my next fight if everything goes good.
All right, very good. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a question, please press *1 on your touch-tone telephone. Again, if you have a question, please press *1. Our next question is coming from Robert with Sports Media. Please go ahead.
Yes, most of my questions have been answered, but I want to just verify with Chris. You there, Chris?
Yeah. Hi.
Okay, Chris, let me ask you almost the same thing you've been asked. Do you believe this is your last shot at the title?
My last shot at the title, yeah. I believe it's, like I answered earlier, I didn't expect it to be so soon. But, I feel like I'm ready, and, I've been training hard for it. So I really can't say if it's my last or not. So, yeah, I just know that I'm ready for it.
So that means you're going to leave whatever you have inside the ring.
Excuse me?
That means that you're going to leave whatever you have on the ring on Saturday.
Exactly, yes. I'm going to give it all. My October 14th, I'm going to leave everything I have there in the ring.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And for Leo, how you doing, Leo?
I'm doing good, thank you. How about you?
Listen, well, thank you. I talked to you up on when you had your worked out, and what I've been hearing is a couple of different things from you, and what we've been asked today. How bad do you want to fight with Mares?
Really bad. I wanted, ever since the first fight, he said that right after he said that he wanted the rematch, and I said I'll give it to him. The fans loved that fight. We both get great fight, and it was a great turnout. So I said I'll give it to you. Why not? I said if he would have beat me, I would have liked him to give me the rematch. I said since I beat him, I said I'll give him the rematch. But it is that there was never talked about it anymore, or there was probably no interest in anything until now. So, but yeah, I said, why not? I won that fight, and like I said, I'm not looking to fight this fight first. I want to get this fight, and if we both our fights, we'll work everything to get our fight next in the beginning of the year.
And as far as Avalos, are there any excuses that you might have if something goes wrong on your training or the lack of fighting?
And no, that I never put excuses. There's no excuses. Anything will happen in boxing. Sometimes you get caught with a good shot, or it's not your night. Everything's gonna happen. If I lose, lose. I know how to recognize that he was a better fighter or anything. I don't have no excuses to put. I'm training 100%. Like if I'm fighting for any other champion, and that's what I'm looking for in this fight. He's gonna come with everything he got. I know this is an opportunity, and those are the most dangerous fighters. So I know I'm really focused. I'm very dedicated, and we're putting everything in the ring. And come October 14, there's not gonna be no excuses.
Well, thank you very much, and I wish both of you good luck.
Thank you very much.
Our next question will be coming from Lynn Satterfield from PBC. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my question is for both Leo and Richard. Given the events of last month in Mexico, I was wondering if what you guys thought the emotions would be, and what the emotions are right now heading into what is essentially an all-Mexican card. For the fighters, Richard, do you get a sense of what's going on? And for you personally, Leo, what does this card, what has this process been like for you?
Leo, you want to go first?
No, you go first if you want, Richard.
Okay, well, hey, Lam. Well, first of all, I want to just say how sad all of these incidents, whether it was Mexico, the earthquake, or Puerto Rico, or more recently that horrible shooting in Las Vegas is. And, what always encourages me and all that tragedy, puts a little smile on my face is how the boxing community comes together, whether if it's promoters helping financially or fighters helping and cheering up the local communities. The boxing community is really a very social fraternity, and I'm very proud to be part of that, and how we all rally and try to help and do whatever we can. And I think being for these fighters on the card, being Mexican, my wife is Mexican as well, born in Mexico. For them, to the unity to do something for their countrymen and countrywomen is very significant, and I'm sure that they're going to give their best. These fighters fighting for the pride of Mexico, fighting for their country, and maybe giving some much needed distract to these people in Mexico or in Puerto Rico or wherever it is around the world, to maybe just forget for a moment all hardship, and through their actions in the ring, their entertainment in the ring, bring some joy into their lives. And I am sure that or Mares or Gutierrez or Avalos or others on the card would all second that sentiment.
Richard, I know Mares his wife has family still over there. Have you gotten a sense from him or any of the other fighters how difficult this has been, and maybe how much they're looking forward to actually?
Oh, it's very difficult, because I tell you, there is everybody, within his community, the Mexican community, and I see it with my own family's wife as well. We all have relatives in Mexico, in Mexico City, and so it definitely impacted many lives, whether if it's immediate family or friends or other relatives. Clearly, lives were impacted everywhere, and so that's definitely something which is on everybody's mind.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Leo, same question. I mean, what has it been like for you? Has there been any? Has it touched you in any way personally? And also, can you imagine what it's going to be like to be in that arena? As part of it, as the main event of an all Mexican card.
Yeah, I've been upset. Listening to all those things, disasters. Like Richard, the earthquake, over in Texas and Puerto Rico, and everything. The shooting. you feel sad because I imagine if I had family there or something, I put myself in those people's shoes that would have family there or the people that were there. That you can never see life, for granted. You can never take life for granted, and it's very hard. And I wish I could help in any little way I could help, but right now, my main focus is, the fight. The fight is I want to go out there and give a great fight for the fans, and everything I'm gonna do on that fight day, and everything I'm gonna go out there is for all those fallen people that have been killed in the earthquakes and the shootings and everything, and we're gonna go out there and fight for them to bring the memory and back and to do it for them, so that because other people that lost there they never expected this, and that's how we have to see life. You never take any great day for granted. So I feel very bad, and I wish I could help in any way and everything. But right now, I'm being very busy in my training and trying to go out there and just give my family a good future.
Okay, thank you, Leo. Any
Yeah.
other questions?
No, there
That was actually the last question.
Okay, great. Well then, I'd like to thank all the media members, and I just want to say something which is really interesting, which through here on this conference call, and something which one of the first people who actually asked the question mentioned, how difficult was it to sort of overcome the fact that Leo and Abner are not fighting each other. You see that in this call today as well, and I think what that is, it makes this card that much more interesting from in-the-ring action, because we've seen many examples in boxing, in sports, where the underdog turned around and beat the favorite. Was it because of maybe the favorites, the world champions in this case, maybe didn't prepare as much? Is it because the underdogs came in better than anyone expected? Many examples are out there. And the talk about the potential Santa Cruz Mares fight early next March, I think only throws oil into the fire for Avalos and Gutierrez to really come and give their very best to become world champion. Both of those guys have tremendous opportunities to become world champions, and I know they will be ready, and I hope that my two friends, Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares, know what's at stake, and that they know that they have a target on their back, and they better be ready. So it will be an exciting night, an exciting doubleheader with two of the most exciting fighters, two Mexican superstars fighting live on Channel 11, Fox, the big Fox network. What a showcase for boxing. What a showcase for these fighters on this card. What an opportunity, and what a great deal for the people in Los Angeles for as little as $30 to be able to be part of this exciting night of boxing. So with having said that, for those who are not going to be able to be in Carson, make sure you watch it live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific on Fox and Fox Deportes. Looking forward to see you all next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining today's call. You all may disconnect at this time, and have a good afternoon. Thank you.